let's talk about the only members of the Wild organization that are participating in postseasons. And let's lead with one of the guys that we hope is a positive influence in Kaprizov staying. Danila Yurov. What's up?
He is, as of today, Metallurg swept Locomotive. Loco's their junior team. He is now a KHL champion. So we have, again, like there were rumors of the contract, whatever. I don't recall ever seeing anything about it being official. So we'll see. But perfect end to a phenomenal bounce back season for Danila Yurov. And the thing about his postseason specifically, and like this was a common theme as the season went on, he was playing so well. So you look at the 4 games in this final series, he didn't put up any points. I think he had, let me pull it up one more time. He had, I think, 11 block shots, 14 hits, 6 takeaways in those 4 games. So he's turned himself, well, I mean, and again, like this is what he was doing all year long. But like even when he isn't scoring, and he did have a monster year where I think he did end up beating Tarasenko's U20 KHL scoring record. But even when he's not putting up points, he is a legitimate two-way factor. Like, and he played a ton of center this season. And he did the same thing in the playoffs again, where he was right around 50% the face-off dot. There were a couple of games that, you know, they put him back at the wing. So he was playing like pretty much any role they needed him to play. And they had a monster playoff. But even when he's not scoring, he's being a big factor for them. He kills penalties. He's on their power play, special teams player. And again, like he's flashed all that playmaking ability throughout the year. He scored a couple goals in the semis. Like I think he scored in the last 3 games of their semifinal series. He just had a monster year. So congratulations to him. Very happy to see that. And again, we'll see what happens now, because I really don't think he has definitively said what he's going to do next year, which is fascinating to me. Obviously, that'll heat up now, but congratulations to Danila Yurov. Just a phenomenal season. He was so fun to watch all year. Finally got his first actual shot in the KHL, and it worked out quite well for him and the team. So he's a guy. And again, like even though he's playing abroad, the fact that he's got a couple of years of pro hockey under his belt now, and especially this year, it's only like that just speeds up that process or the timeline. Like once he does come over, like does he actually need a ton of time in Iowa? Does he really need a full season there? Maybe not. Because the KHL is a pretty fucking good hockey league. So, but yeah, they swept the final. Congratulations to Metallurg, their coach. Way better than that fucking dickhead at SKA. So we'd love to see it.
Yeah, we'd love to see that.
I do need a couple of eventual shifts. I just need so badly a couple of shifts. It's not going to be a line in the NHL, but I desperately need Kaprizov, Kuznetsov, Yurov. Well, I need it so bad.
Why not just trade for Kuznetsov and just make it happen now?
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, I didn't think about it.
He's looking okay.
Scored their first goal for Carolina in the playoffs. I love seeing people shit themselves over the celly. It's so funny to me. The old man angry at Cloud, like, what is he doing that for? It's like, bro, it's because his daughter likes it. Like, that's why he started doing the celly. And everyone's like, oh, no, fuck him. He's showboat. Like, showboating? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're such a loser. Whatever. But anyways, but yeah, no. Trade for him. Yeah. For 1-for-1. Or for Kuznetsov.
Gosses in for Kuznetsov. There you go.
Yeah, the trade is 1-for-1. It's fine.
Holy shit. Then we got to talk Rasmus Kumpulainen, who apparently almost died.
He came back 2 nights later. He was fine. Scored a goal. I think he played like 26 minutes at center for Oshawa. And I think that was the game they clinched their second round series. So that looked so bad. Did you see the play? He got like, it wasn't a bad hit or anything, but he got thrown just like a shove, I guess, into that wide open door. And it was like the perfect right where your the pad stops, right the fucking ribs, right into the corner of that open door, and his whole body like, oh god, I was shocked it wasn't like a broken rib because he left the game, but then immediately again came back. He either scored or had an assist in that next game, and that was the series clincher. So
I mean, he might just be Brock Faber and just playing through it without telling anyone, you know?
Yeah. He's another one. He's obviously not coming to Minnesota next year. He will definitely need at least one more year in the O, but just an enigma of a hockey player. He's fucking huge, not fast, but one of the best transition forwards in the OHL in terms of just like the tracking data. Like, he is a monster in the neutral zone, despite traveling at like 12 miles an hour. Like, you can't take the puck from him, and he just knows how to use his size, and his hands are a joke. So I think the first couple of games of their first round series in the playoffs, he was a little bit all over the place. But as the playoffs have continued, he's another guy, whether or not he's producing, like whether or not he's scoring or just factoring on the score sheet, he has been a big piece for Oshawa. And I think they're playing North Bay in the semis. So we'll see. But the fact that he even came back, I was convinced he broke at least or cracked at least one rib. But again, came back, played like 25, 26 fucking minutes at center, and put up a point. So just a really fun player to watch, just because it's just like, how are you not losing the puck, and how do you successfully get through the neutral zone, through traffic every fucking time without even like coming close to losing it? It's unbelievable. He's awesome.
All right, your call. Do we want to lead off next with Hunter or Height?
We'll stick to the OHL. Hunter Haight. He had a real nice. So they just went to 7 games with the Sioux. Every game, well, not every. I think 5 of the 7 games were blowouts, one way or the other, like unexpectedly. But they just pulled off their Game 7 win. I think it was last night. He's looked good. He's not. I think he's got. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. I don't have it up in front of me now. That's annoying as fuck. But I think he only has about 6, 7, 8 points so far through the 2 series. But he has been the one goal that one of the goals that he did score was outrageous, which is kind of like what he tends to do. Whenever like we tweeted out or we posted the goal compilation from the season, and it's just like every time he scores, it is absurd. Like, it is a highlight reel goal every fucking time. Just ridiculous hands, the speed, like his ability to play and like think the game as fast as his hands go and his feet move. Like, it is impressive. So he's been great for them. And they are also moving on to the semis now. I can't remember. Oh God, it's North Bay. That they're playing Oshawa. That's gonna drive me nuts now. But yeah, anyways, he's moving on to the semis, and again, they're hosting the Mem Cup. So either way, he will be in that tournament.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Care to proceed then with the other half?
Yeah. For the same guy, there's one half. So we'll go over to the WHL. My God, Riley Height and the Prince George Cougars are obliterating everybody. They're doing what they did in the regular season. They're putting up at least 5 or 6 goals. The one loss they had, Kelowna, in the second round, kept them to like 1 or 2. Height has points in every game. He also had a point in the game that they only scored 1 and lost. He only trails Denton Matejchuk for assists in the playoffs, because in Game 5 for Moose Jaw, Matejchuk put up 5 assists and like a goal. He had a 6-point game. But Riley Height is putting on an absolute clinic in the playoffs, just dishing. I think he has 1 goal and 11 assists, or maybe 10 assists in 9 games. And like, I mean, it's just comical. Like, nobody can touch him. Like, nobody can get the puck. And the 1 goal he scored was a ridiculous wraparound. He is flying. And that team, again, they are fucking 8-1 in the playoffs so far. And I think they're scoring 5, 6, 7 goals every fucking game. Like, they kicked the shit out of Spokane in round 1. Like, the game 4 was closed for 10 minutes. And then they were like, we'll just turn it on. I think they scored 3 goals in a minute and a half in the second period. And it was like, all right, well, I guess this is done now. Like, we're gonna pack it up here, fellas. We did our best, guys. We did our best. What are we supposed to do here? But again, like, he's just picking up right where he left off the regular season. It's unreal. So I think they play Saskatoon in the semis. That starts on
Saskatoon. They must be
Friday.
Minnesota fans, right?
Yeah, they gotta be, as Barry said. Yeah.
Oh, Papa Barry. All right. Last one, I believe. Kalem Parker. He had a slow start in that first round. But he's been phenomenal for Moose Jaw. He's playing a ton with Metallurg too, which I love. Just 2 phenomenal skaters, and they're very fun to watch with the puck. So he put up an assist. They've just dominated Swift Current in round 2. They won that series 4-1. He had an assist in game 4. He's a +1 in game 5. So he only has that one, or he only has. Oh, I'm sorry. He did put up a 2-point game last week, actually. So he's got 4 points in those 9 games for Moose Jaw. But he's just had a quiet but like real solid season for Moose Jaw. And like that trade for him was just great, so we could get out of fucking Victoria. And again, just watching him play with Metallurg so fun. He's one to watch because I really like his game a ton. Like, he kind of checks. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I think he's going to be one to watch over the next few years. Like, his development path going to be like we talk. And I'm not putting them on the same pedestal, but like, this is the same thing I say about a guy like Kyle Masters, that the upside is absolutely there. They're just going to have that longer development path. Part of that just comes with a term of like being a defenseman anyways. But he is just like the foundational tools that he possesses and his defending ability. But like, he's got he can be on the power play for you. He can play even strength. He kills penalties. He plays a ton of minutes for them too, in every role on the back end. So he's definitely one to watch as the years go here. So I've liked his game all year long. And round 2, he's been solid for Moose Jaw, and they're a problem right now. They are very, very good. I'm sorry. So they play Saskatoon, and Prince George plays Portland, and that's the other team. So I think Portland has swept both of those. That's going to be a ridiculous series. That one might not be a quick series. Fair.
But yeah.
Crazy for me, at least. Maybe this is like something that you'll just be like, yeah, of course. 32 Thoughts. Merrick discloses that apparently there is a rule in the CHL that if you play anywhere in the CHL and have a son that is good enough to play in the CHL, you get like reciprocity and get to choose which league they play in. They aren't like locked into where they're born and regionally playing there. And it came up because there's a kid from Cole Harbor that's going to play in the O.
I'll be honest, I didn't know that.
That's just
I don't even
like I can't even think of something comparable that you could even like say, oh, what if another league did this? Like, no, that's like a strictly Canadian nonsense. Like, throw it in there with their monopoly money. Like, just a weird rule.
That is funny as fuck, dude. I didn't know that. So that's
look at Chucks, because their dad played in the NHL. He gets to pick what team they play for. Or at least just gets to pick which division they play in the NHL. Like, okay,
on a day-by-day basis. Day-by-day basis too. Like, contract year, he's only playing for teams going up against like the fucking San Jose Sharks. He just played them 82 times, put up 250 points. That's good stuff. I didn't know that, but it's a very weird, like, ridiculous little, I guess rule, but like also could not be less surprised at the same time. That sounds about right. You're like, yeah, that's absurd, but it does track. All right, that makes sense. Whatever.
I mean, just as crazy as the idea that Toronto's apparently a front runner to get a second team as soon as the next 2 expansions roll out. That seems like such a bad idea.
Yeah, I hate they piss me off. Everything they do is
will you love the second Toronto team though, in spite of the existing Toronto team, or will you
because they will just get the same fans. Like it's like, yeah, they will.
The only way that team will survive is if their tickets are half the price and they cater to normal people.
Yeah, what if they just actually their whole business model is undercutting the fucking Toronto people?
I would love that. Because, like, they're not going to get any radio time because literally all of that is run by a weird part of the ownership group of the Leafs. Like
they're the Toronto Oak Leaves, and they just exist solely to fucking piss off.
No, dude, they're gonna go full heel, and it's just the Toronto Pot Leafs, and they go with green St. Pat's jerseys and just call it a day.
They're a fucking Wiz Khalifa.
Isha would have such a debacle on his hands with his just outright hatred of anything Toronto. He'd be like, fuck, I kind of have to cheer for these guys.
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Oh, Mateo, this is a good cut. I like this. The Toronto Blue Collars.
Oh, my.
That's actually awesome. Mateo, I fully endorse this as the team name. That would be incredible.
Well played, Mateo. You son of a bitch.
That's really good. Credit where it's due.
Yeah.